Hey there, everybody. It is I, the Desert Viking, and today we will be getting a little bit more into the Kybalion with Chapter 4. And in Chapter 4, we're going to be talking about the All. Now, in terms of how to go through this type of material, if this is your first time, you're going to have that question be asked quite a bit, basically being, there's so much. There's just so much. Where do you even start? And that's true. There is so much, and it's really easy to put your face into the fire hose, so to speak, and just get blasted, right? That's kind of one of the reasons why I'm doing all of this, is to provide maybe a starting point. I have identified, and as we saw in the builder's workshop, my very first episode on this was to establish what I consider to be my cornerstones. And if you don't even know what cornerstones exist or what foundational pieces exist, that can also be difficult. Later on in the future, I may cover a book by an author named Manly P. Hall. He had a really great book that touched on every form of esotericism. It's really popular in my lodge, and we push it out. The Teaching of the Ages. That kind of gives you an example, because he basically goes into a very little bit into a broad array of topics, so that you're able to see what all even exists. It doesn't really get deep into anything, but it's just a wide variety of things that you can talk about. So, but for me, Hermeticism, which the Kybalion is a tenet of, is one of my cornerstones, and it is essentially the root. Hermeticism is the root for a lot of Western esotericism, or even Eastern esotericism, to be honest. So as such, it's a good starting point to begin with on your journey, because everything that you explore from this point on after Hermeticism is probably rooted in Hermeticism if you follow the chain up somewhere at some point. So Chapter 4, the All. Let's see what we have to learn today. So I want you to read, you're going to listen. If you have the book, read it, and take a couple days to let it digest. Think about what we're talking about. And as you think about it, draw your own conclusions. Maybe have a book, write down some ideas. That's how that's a great thing that most of us do. We have books that we write in, journals, essentially, and just put your thoughts in. So Chapter 4 is the All. Under and back of the universe of time, space, and change is ever to be found the substantial reality, the fundamental truth. Substance means that which underlies all outward manifestations, the essence, the essential reality, the thing in itself, etc. Substantial means actually existing, being the essential element, being real, etc. Reality means the state of being real, true, enduring, valid, fixed, permanent, actual, etc. Under and behind all outward appearances or manifestations, there must always be a substantial reality. This is the law. Man, considering the universe of which he is a unit, sees nothing but change in matter, forces, and mental states. He sees that nothing really is, but that everything is becoming and changing. Nothing stands still. Everything is being born, growing, dying. The very instant a thing reaches its height, it begins to decline. The law of rhythm is in constant operation. There is no reality, enduring quality, fixity, or substantiality in anything. Nothing is permanent but change. He sees all things evolving from other things and resolving into other things. Constant action and reaction, inflow and outflow, building up and tearing down, creation and destruction, birth, growing, and death. Nothing endures but change. And if he be a thinking man, he realizes that all of these changing things must be but outward appearances or manifestations of some underlying power, some substantial reality. All thinkers in all lands and in all times have assumed the necessity for postulating the existence of this substantial reality. All philosophies worthy of the name have been based upon this thought. Men have given to this substantial reality many names. Some have called it by the term of deity under many titles. Others have called it the infinite and eternal energy. Others have tried to call it matter, but all have acknowledged its existence. It is self-evident and it needs no argument. In these lessons, we have followed the example of some of the world's greatest thinkers, both ancient and modern, the Hermetic masters, and have called this underlying power, this substantial reality, by the Hermetic name of the All, which term we consider the most comprehensive of the many terms applied by man to that which transcends names and terms. We accept and teach the view of the great Hermetic thinkers of all times, as well as of those illumined souls who have reached higher planes of being, both of whom assert that the inner nature of the All is unknowable. This must be so, for not by the All itself can comprehend its own nature and being. The Hermeticists believe that and teach that the All, in itself, is and must ever be unknowable. They regard all the theories, guesses, and speculations of the theologians, the metaphysicians, I butchered that word, the metaphysicians, regarding the inner nature of the All, as but the childish efforts of mortal minds to grasp the secrets of the infinite. Such efforts have always failed and will always fail from the very nature of the task. One pursuing such inquiries travels around and around in the labyrinth of thought until he is lost to all sane reasoning, action, or conduct, and is utterly unfitted for the work of life. He is like the squirrel which frantically runs around and around the circling treadmill wheel of his cage, traveling ever and yet reaching nowhere, at the end a prisoner still and standing just where he started. And still more presumptuous are those who attempt to ascribe to the All the personality, qualities, properties, characteristics, and attributes of themselves, ascribing to the All the human emotions, feelings, and characteristics, even down to the pettiest qualities of mankind, such as jealousy, susceptibility to flattery and praise, desire for offerings and worship, and all the other survivals from the days of the childhood of the race. Such ideas are not worthy of grown men and women and are rapidly being discarded. At this point, it may be proper for me to state that we make a distinction between religion and theology, between philosophy and metaphysics. Religion to us means the institutionalized realization of the existence, I butchered that word, means the intuitional realization of the existence of the All and one's relationship to it, while theology means the attempts of men to ascribe personality, qualities, and characteristics to it, their theories regarding its affairs, will, desires, plans, and designs, and their assumption of the office of middlemen between the All and to the people. Philosophy to us means the inquiry after knowledge of things knowable and thinkable, while metaphysics means to attempt to carry the inquiry over and beyond the boundaries and into regions unknowable and unthinkable, and with the same tendency as that of theology. And consequently, both religion and philosophy mean to us things having roots in reality, underline, while theology and metaphysics seem like broken reeds, rooted in the quicksand of ignorance and affording naught but the most insecure support for the mind or soul of man. We do not insist upon our students accepting these definitions. We mention them merely to show our position. At any rate, you shall hear very little about theology and metaphysics in these lessons. But while the essential nature of the All is unknowable, there are certain truths connected with its existence which the human mind finds itself compelled to accept, and an examination of these reports form a proper subject of inquiry, particularly as they agree with the reports of the illumined on higher planes. And it is to this inquiry we now invite you. That which is the fundamental truth, the substantial reality, is beyond true naming, but the wise men call it the All. In its essence, the All is unknowable. But the report of reason must be hospitably received and treated with respect. The human reason, whose reports we must accept so long as we think at all, informs us as follows regarding the all, and that without attempting to remove the veil of the unknowable. Number 1, the all must be all that really is. There can be nothing existing outside of the all, else the all is not the all. Makes sense? Number 2, the all must be infinite, for there is nothing else to define, confine, bound, limit, or restrict the all. It must be infinite in time, or eternal. It must have always continuously existed, for there is nothing else to have ever created it, and something can never evolve from nothing. And if it had ever not been, even for a moment, it would not be now. It must continuously exist forever, for there is nothing to destroy it, and it can never not be, even for a moment, because something can never become nothing. It must be infinite in space. It must be everywhere, for there is no place outside of the all. It cannot be otherwise than continuous in space without break, cessation, separation, or interruption. For there is nothing to break, separate, or interrupt its continuity, and nothing with which to fill in the gaps. It must be infinite in power or absolute, for there is nothing to limit, restrict, restrain, confine, disturb, or condition it. It is subject to no other power, for there is no other power. Okay? Number 3, the all must be immutable, or not subject to change in its real nature. For there is nothing to work changes upon it, nothing into which it could change, nor from which it could have changed. It cannot be added to, nor subtracted from, increased, nor diminished, nor become greater or lesser in any respect whatsoever. It must always have been, and must always remain, just what it is now, the all. There has never been, is not now, and never will be anything else into which it can change. The all being infinite, absolute, eternal, and unchangeable, it must follow that anything finite, changeable, fleeting, and conditioned cannot be the all. And as there is nothing outside of the all in reality, then any and all such finite things must be as nothing in reality. Now, do not become befogged nor frightened. We are not trying to lead you into the Christian Science field under cover of Hermetic philosophy. There is a reconciliation of this apparently contradictory state of affairs. Be patient, we will reach it in time. We see around us that which is called matter, which forms the physical foundation of all forms. Is the all merely matter? Not at all. Matter cannot manifest life or mind, and as life and mind are manifested in the universe, the all, therefore, cannot be matter, for nothing rises higher than its own source. Nothing is ever manifested in an effect that is not in the cause. Nothing is evolved as a consequent that is not involved as an antecedent. And then modern science informs us that there is really no such thing as matter, that what we call matter is merely interrupted energy or force, that is, energy or force at a low rate of vibration. As a recent writer has said, matter has melted into mystery. Even material science has abandoned the theory of matter and now rests on the basis of energy. Then is the all mere energy of force? Not energy or force as the materialists use the term, for their energy and force are blind, mechanical things, devoid of life or mind. Life and mind can never evolve from blind energy or force, for the reason given a moment ago. Nothing can rise higher than its source. Nothing is evolved unless it is involved. Nothing manifests in the effect unless it is in the cause. And so the all cannot be mere energy or force, for if it were, then there would be no such things as life and mind in existence. And we know better than that, for we are alive and using mind to consider this very question. And so are those who claim that energy or force is everything. What is there then higher than matter or energy that we know to be existent in the universe? Life and mind. Life and mind in all their varying degree of unfoldment. Then you'll ask, do you mean to tell us that the all is life and mind? Yes and no. If you mean life and mind as we poor petty mortals know them, then no. The all is not that. But what kind of life and mind do you mean, you ask? The answer is living mind. As far above that which mortals know by those words, as life and mind are higher than mechanical forces, or matter, infinite living mind as compared to finite life and mind, we mean that which the illumined souls mean when they reverently pronounce the word spirit. The all is infinite living mind. The illumined call this the spirit. Okay, that one was a head turner. A lot of words. Word salad, right? So they're essentially talking about God, the all, the creator, the great geometer, the great artificer, whatever name you may ascribe to the all. And that's the wonderful thing about this journey is there are multiple paths to the truth, and we all ascribe different names to our paths, but we all get to the same destination. And that's something to consider. That you're going to have your own thought process of what the all is. You're going to feel it. I mean, if you're watching this video and you're actually interested in this type of subject matter, then you already, I will probably guarantee, feel the call of the all or God or the divine within you, propelling you to seek answers for things. Some of you have an idea of what those things may be. Some of you do not have an idea of what those things may be. As one commenter posted, it is like a thread that goes on and on and on. And indeed, when you walk down this path, you will be following that thread for quite some time into a rabbit hole that leads into other rabbit holes. And other doors will appear as you walk this path. Some of those doors will remain closed to you, but you'll see them. Other of those doors will open and you can travel into them. Freemasonry is a lot like that. Once you ascribe and you begin working through the degrees and actually working through them and looking at the symbols and trying to suss out what's going on, you're going to find doors appearing before you, as there are doors appearing before me. And I have doors that have manifested recently that remain closed to me, but I know they exist, and they will open when I have reached a point where I am ready for them to be opened. But those doors would not have manifested had I never taken that first step and gone down to the lodge and knocked on the door. So that's kind of what you're doing here. Even if you're not into Freemasonry, that's fine. That's just one path. You might be into something else. It is by looking, is by exploring that you will find your path. And through your path, the all will call to you to begin your own journey and your own exploratory experience. And I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear what your journey is. So leave a comment if you could. I'd love to have the discussion. I'm going to leave a link to my Discord. If you want to come in and set up some time and post and talk, that'd be great. I'd love that. Until then, this one was this one was a lot of words. Think about what was said. Think about the all. And when we meet again, we're going to move into chapter 5. Thank you all. Have a blessed day, and we will talk to you soon.